Hello, everyone. In this week's episode, we look for my eighth neighbor. We also talk about my new neighbor's backstory, and we also build their yard. Now, let's go find my eighth neighbor. I'm looking for Caesar. Let's just say that I ran into a really old best friend, and I invited him to move to my island. I had to invite my new neighbor because him and I have great memories together. He was on a really old island my mom had, and she didn't want to lose him, so what happened was she accidentally said yes when she wanted to say no for him to move. And I had an old Switch Light island, and I had only 9 neighbors. So what I did is I invited him to move to that island so she could go visit him at any time she wanted to. This neighbor is the best neighbor, my mom used to say, and she also used to say that he's the best gorilla in the game. Boyd was born in San Diego. He always wanted to be a pro wrestler. His parents believed in him, and he wrote an essay about how he wanted to be a world champion pro wrestler, and he got a 0 on the essay with a note saying, "This is supposed to be a serious essay, and you treated it as a joke. you'll never make it as a pro wrestler. You'll be working, pushing carts in at a grocery store. Boyd saw this and he talked to the teacher asking why he got a 0 and the cruel note. And the teacher said, it's to bring you back to reality. You have to come back to reality and come back to earth. There's no chance that you'll ever make it in the wrestling business. Boyd took what she said and he decided that he was going to prove her wrong and everybody else wrong in the school. He was going to be a world heavyweight champion after he graduated high school. After Boyd graduated high school, he went to Mexico City and he went to the world's famous wrestling school that is for one of the major promotions in Mexico for Lucha Libre. His trainers were tough on everyone. They did this because they wanted to see who really wanted to be a pro wrestler and who just wanted it for the fame and money. Numerous of other people in the class decided not to come back to training, but Boyd kept coming back after everything that he's been through. And the trainer pulled him aside and asked him, why are you keep coming back? Usually people will break and then not come back. Boyd looked at him and said, with all due respect, sir, I want to be a pro wrestler. I've wanted this ever since I was a little kid and I watched wrestling on TV with my parents and grandparents. He also told him that his grandmother used to watch Lucha Libre all the time, and his grandfather also used to wrestle in Mexico in one of the promotions for Lucha Libre. He also told his trainer that he wrote an essay in school about wanting to be a pro wrestler, and his teacher laughed at him and gave him a 0. And she also put a discouraging note on the essay. He said to the trainer, I have the essay if you want to read it. His trainer read the essay. He had a tear in his eye. He handed Boyd back the essay and he said, I get it. You are truly here for the love of Lucha Libre and not for the money. Boyd finished his training and he talked to his trainer and he came up with his character. He remembered that there was a show that he used to watch with his mom, and the show was ahead of its time. It was a gothic soap opera. He told him about the storyline where a poltergeist who was wronged by his ancestors and his spirit is let out of where he was locked up in, and he haunts the house, chasing the family out of the house. And he used a old gramophone music to haunt the house. He told his trainer that he had every part of his character already mapped out. His trainer looked at what he written down and he said that it's a brilliant idea. He made it to the promotion that the school is tied to. They took one look at Boyd and said that we're going to put you in the heavyweight title picture. He smiled inside because he knew who the champion was. It was the teacher's son that always used to bully him in school. They told him that he's going to debut tonight and he's going to win the heavyweight championship. Boyd said, with all due respect, why not build up the character first? He also told the promoter that the champion, he went to school with him. And the promoter goes, "Oh, so he's your friend." And Boyd said, "No, he was the school bully. He was just like his mom." He said that he had an idea. Why not bring that into the storyline? After his match tonight, have somebody else go for the title. And then put my music on and I don't walk out. He will be shocked looking around to see who's coming out. Then have his manager get a microphone, and then the music starts again. And then when the manager goes to talk, my voice comes through the loudspeaker in the arena. And then I say, "Remember me? I am a ghost from your past, and I'm going to take your heavyweight championship back home with me." And then keep playing my theme song during his matches. And another way you can mess with him is have his theme song start and then go into my theme song while he's walking to the ring. The promoter looked at Boyd and just stared at him for a couple of minutes and then goes, "You know what? I like it. Let's run with that." After that happened on the first night to the champion, the heavyweight champion came back and he talked to the promoter and asked him, "Who is this?" And the promoter said that he's just a new wrestler signed to the promotion. He graduated from the wrestling school. Finally, after 4 months, the biggest show of the promotion, the promoter told the champion that he's going to drop the title to the new wrestler. He wasn't very happy about dropping the title to somebody that he doesn't even know who it is because he hasn't showed up on the screen for the promotion yet. But he has to do business, so he said that he'll drop the title. The heavyweight champion said, "Where is this guy so we can go over the match?" And the promoter said that it's going to be called in the ring. I'm giving you the beginning of the match, which is you and the challenger is going to have a 45-minute match, and you're going to lose. The rest of it will be decided in the ring, and he's going to call the match. The champion went out to the ring, and he cut a promo. And what he said was, "I am sick and tired of this. This is going on for 4 months, and I don't even know who this is going to be. I demand that you show yourself, and I'm sick of these mind games. Get out here and show your face." The music started, and the lights went out. He walked out, and the lights went back on, and the champion saw who it was. He looked like that he saw a ghost. They had match of the year, even though they strongly disliked each other. And of course, Boyd worked stiff in the ring. Working stiff in a wrestling match is basically that some of the punches and kicks were kind of really snug and some of them were actually kind of real. The champion lost the match and Boyd won the championship. He wrestled for a few years with the company until he decided to retire from wrestling. He heard about the Nook's Deserted Island getaway package, and he thought it was a great place where he could find some friends. Tom Nook told him about the community on Elowen, and he thought that he would fit right in. When Boyd got to Elowen, he was greeted by everyone who was on the island, and they all helped him carry his belongings to his new home. Everyone told him, "Welcome home, Boyd." He knew that he was home, and the first thing that Stitches did when he saw Boyd was he ran up to him and gave him a big hug. Stitches told Boyd that he hopes that they can be great friends. Olive told Boyd about what Stitches' backstory was, and Boyd said that he's going to be looking out for Stitches. He is going to treat him like a little brother. Boyd already knew that he was home when he got to the island. I wanted to make a yard for Boyd. I wanted to make his yard especially for him to relax. Boyd's a simple gorilla. To me, he seems like he would love to sit outside and read, but also he seems like he would also watch out for his neighbors. I added the goddess statue to every yard. It's because of the lore from The Legend of Zelda. The lore is that the goddess statue is the vessel to the goddess Hylia, and the goddess Hylia protects Hyrule. And I wanted to have her protect my island and my neighbors on my islands. I also added some Zelda themed items because I'm a fan of The Legend of Zelda. I added 2 storefronts and another goddess statue. And that what I was going for was I was trying to build a reference to the Great Plateau on Breath of the Wild, which is one of my favorite Zelda games. What it's supposed to represent is the Temple of Time ruins in Breath of the Wild. I also added a Decayed Guardian because the Decayed Guardians are also on the Great Plateau. I also added the wedding bells for a reference to the Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time. And also on for a reference to Breath of the Wild, because if you go to the top of the temple, it looks like there was a bell tower there in the first place before the calamity happened. I also added some cactuses because I wanted to add a reference to the Gerudo Desert in the Zelda games. I also added the Zonai authentication crest because of my love for The Legend of Zelda. I decided to build Boyd's yard at 5 a.m. because 5 a.m. is my favorite time of day in Animal Crossing. I really love the music of 5 a.m. and also the way that the sky looks if it's not raining on your island at 5 a.m. I also added wrestling boots because of Boyd's backstory of being a pro wrestler. I got the idea for his backstory because of my love for professional wrestling. I've watched professional wrestling ever since I was 5 years old, all the way up to current age. I have played almost every single Zelda game. My first Zelda game that I got was back in 1998, the Ocarina of Time. My second favorite Zelda game is Link's Awakening. I've played that on the Game Boy Color with the Link's Awakening DX. That game is really fun, and so is the story. The first game that my mom got me for Nintendo Switch was Breath of the Wild. And the last ever game she bought me was Tears of the Kingdom. So the reason why I put a lot of Zelda items in Boyd's yard is because for my love of the Legend of Zelda series. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.